Meet Camilla, a Structure Power user. She's a product owner at a software company that builds applications for the banking sector. Being an Agile team member, she's responsible for maximizing the value delivered by her team during iterative work cycles. This ensures the team's backlog is aligned with customer and stakeholder needs. In other words, she does lots of sprint management, so it's essential for her to have a unified source of data. This single source of truth helps monitor planned and ongoing activities, as well as manage work prioritization in real time. She gets this by using Structure PPM. Specifically, she wants to see items from a dedicated Jira project organized by sprints, with all the relevant information in columns. Let's find out how Camilla sets up her structure so that you can excel in sprint management just like she does. Let's start with an insert generator to add Jira items to our structure board. Here we're using the basic insert. The Jira project we're selecting is called Sprint Planning, and the work item types will be stories and bugs. Now we have all the sprint action items on the first level. We'll group them by sprints. For that, let's use the group generator and the sprint field. Now let's sort everything by Jira rank. This way, the most important work will be placed at the top of each sprint. So this is our hierarchy, consisting of several buckets of active sprints, future sprints, and the backlog. Now let's bring related data into the columns. We'll start with a story points column, so that we can see the relative work estimations of our items. Now let's go into the column settings and enable aggregating data over that column. This allows us to see the sum of story points from the children level to the parent level. In this case, we can see how many story points there are in each sprint. The next metric to add is the progress column, and we're using progress by status. We'll open the column settings and select Show Progress as percentage values. Let's also add a status column to see the states of each item. We want to look at individual assignees and the fixed versions of each item. And finally, let's add the epic column so that we can see where all the work is going into. So that's a basic set of columns we can use to start managing sprints and planning which items will go into the next iterations. The aggregated story points column shows us how much effort each sprint requires so that we can plan accordingly based on our team's velocity. Now let's also add a formula column, which will serve as a warning mechanism. It will notify us when the estimated velocity is exceeded. In our example, we're using a formula that contains a hard-coded team's velocity. This will be compared to the current aggregated value of story points on the sprint level. If we plan more work than our team has capacity for, we will see a warning message shown across that sprint. This particular sprint is overbooked, so we must decrease its scope. We can exclude some of the items from this sprint and put them in the backlog so that the team capacity is no longer exceeded. Let's rename the formula column to capacity to easily see what this column represents. As a final touch, let's add a couple of quick filters to switch between different contexts in our view. We'll open the Quick Transformations menu, add a new quick filter, and select the Fixed Versions field. The first version we need is 1.0. Let's create another quick filter, this time for version 1.1. and we can turn these filters on and off to seamlessly switch between the different versions. This helps focus our attention on specific sections of our view. Now Camilla has a structure board showing her team's work, including progress and statuses. This helps her manage and prioritize the features backlog, as well as visualize important workflow metrics. So if you want to be a sprint management pro like Camilla, try using Structure PPM for your own sprint management.